Hey everybody, just enjoying two back-to-back snow days here in Baltimore. Really icy, ugly. Yeah, it's not even snow, it's ice balls yesterday. And just rereading some of Dietrich Bonhoeffer's Cost of Discipleship. I think really highly of Dietrich Bonhoeffer. He's well known theologian, pastor, martyr, spy, as the biography by Eric Metaxas is aptly titled. I first read him uh, by this book, and I don't remember how I picked it up, but it really stuck out to me. It was just the introductory statements. Paragraph chapters on discipleship before he gets into the main subject of the book, which is basically the Sermon on the Mount, his commentary on the Sermon on the Mount. But these introductory chapters on discipleship are amazing. I just remember reading it and being provoked by how sharp and pointed and direct and relevant all the content was to my thinking. And so, and then I met like a German minister speaker, and in 2014, and he told me, I said, yeah, I love Bonhoeffer. Just trying to relate with him as a German minister, and wondered what he thought of Bonhoeffer, and he said, "Oh yeah, he's great. Have you read Eric Metaxas's biography on him?" And I said no, and he was like, "Oh, you have?" He was surprised, and so I picked it up right away, and that was amazing as well. It was kind of nice to first have read him directly via this book, and then to get a biography on him. And then the biography was equally impressive on the life of Bonhoeffer. Big book. I wasn't so interested at the time in the World War II backstory to his life, although that is significant, and I would say the end of his life is extraordinary. But I did gravitate towards the beginning of the biography where he talks about his upbringing, and that was really powerful. How he just kind of came from a descendant. Great line of individuals, and his father's side, scientific background, his mother's side, spiritual background, I suppose, having clergymen on that side of his family, famous, successful, individuals. I don't have the specifics on that off the top of my head, but so I just loved that he had that balance of the scientific mind of his father, sharp, to the point, keep to the facts, and then the spiritual side of his mother, just saying, "Hey, your faith is important, and it's going to be a part of your upbringing, and we're gonna lead and live by example in your life, what that looks like." And they had that. They had both dynamics, science and faith, in the house growing up. So, with that upbringing, he was really like almost bound for success, just like his siblings, and they were. There's details there of like them going off and having successful careers, and obviously him as well. And then just going to decide to be a theologian, and then discovering his faith along the way. It seems like he really just wanted to be different from his siblings, and that's why he chose theology. But then decided, pursuing it with excellence, but then like somehow discovering faith along the way and it becoming more real to him in the process. He was in Spain, in Italy, in the United States, and he had spiritual epiphanies along the way, and those are really cool little stories there. He got a revelation of the body of Christ in Rome, and then he just saw the spirituality in a black church in New York City, and both of those experiences really brought alive to him some very important Christian concepts. So who knows, maybe his personal salvation was somewhere in there in the mix, years after him already choosing profession in theology. And then he was somewhere along that timeline persuaded to become a pastor, and that was really cool. He had his doctorate at 21, so he was just whatever he did it 100%, and that's largely because of the way he was brought up. And then he was just kind of killing time because he was too young to be ordained in the Lutheran Church. So he had some time to kill and made the most of it, had a ministry in Berlin, and was ordained. Well, he was ordained and then assigned to a ministry in Berlin. So I guess I'm not so much interested in all those details, although they are useful and interesting. But I guess the way he ended his life is extraordinarily significant because, we have this book on discipleship, and, he kind of meant it. The way he ended his life, he decided, I've got to be in Germany during World War II. He didn't have to be. He was actually out. He had left the country, and he decided, my fate, if I'm going to be involved with the reconstruction process of my country, I need to be there in the fight. And that's just amazing. And then he was in a concentration camp, or a prison camp in Tegel, transferred, whatever, and then he was sentenced. He was put to death like 3 weeks before Adolf Hitler died, and very, very soon before, that camp was liberated. That prison camp was liberated. So, he meant what he said about, and it kind of like doubles the value of everything that he wrote by putting his life on the line and then actually giving up his life for what he believed. I mean, you couldn't put it any other way. He could have played it safe, like many did. And he didn't play it safe. He played it smart. There's a difference. He played it smart, and he wasn't looking to get caught, but he did in some real attempts at coordinating the release of Jews and a little bit of espionage. Not so much espionage, but like leaking information, you could say, and just trying to say that there's an inside resistance, getting communication to the Allies. There's an inside resistance, and actively involved in behind the scenes in assassination attempts that, of course, all failed. But extraordinary life. I think about him a lot, and it would be a great little book to pick up if you haven't done so already. If you haven't heard of him, look him up. You might enjoy the biography. You might enjoy one of his books. So I just wanted to say that and encourage you all to check out Dietrich Bonhoeffer.